Hey guys, it's Kim. Welcome back to my channel, and I'm here with another update for a project pan. This is for my eyes project pan. Enjoy your eyeshadows. This was a project that was created by Deb from Deb B. Go check out her channel, and all the other ladies that are participating in this project, I will leave their information in the description box below. Also, with my Pan That Palette, a couple of ladies decided to get together and pan the same palette, so I'll also leave their information in the description box below. This project started on January 4th, and it is going until December 31st or December 4th, I can't remember, of 2023. So we'll have a little bit of time off. I think it's December 4th. We'll have a little bit of time off at the end of the month to like play around and do what we want. But that's the whole premise of this project. This project was created by Deb because she said, you know what, I don't want any rules, so I'm not going to have any rules. You can do whatever you want. And she paid homage to some of the other project pans, like Project Level Up. You can put that into this project. Pan That Palette you can put into this project. So I have a bunch of things to talk to you guys about today. Let me get on with showing you my two Pan That palettes. So the first Pan That palette that I have to show you is my Norvina palette. This is the Norvina ABH palette, and I will put a picture up of where I'm at this month. It is looking not much different than it did last month. Let me go over my stats with you of like which shade I used and how many times. So the shade Dreamer, I used an additional 2 times this month, bringing my total to 6 times for this palette. Summer, I used 3 times this month, bringing my total up to 1 time, or 4 times for the total entirety of the palette. Wild Child, I used an additional 2 times, and altogether I've used it 5. Rose Gold, I used it an additional time, and I've used it 2 times total. Celestial, I still only have the 1 use. Dazzling, I have 2 uses. Drama, I still only have the 1 use. Base, I've used an additional 3 times, bringing my total of usage up to 6. Soul, I've used an additional 2 times, brings it up to a total of 3. Incense, once, bringing me up to a total of only 2 times. Love, I've only used the 1 time. Volatile, I've used an additional 2 times, bringing my total up to 4. Eccentric, an additional 1 time, bringing my total up to 2. And Passion, an additional 1 time, bringing my total up to 2. The reason I did not get a ton more use out of this palette is because I've been playing around with some other things that I will show you later in this video, but I'm happy with my usage on it. It is being used more than it ever would have been used if it wasn't my focus palette for the year. So I'm not anticipating I'm going to hit pan in maybe any of these shades, but my goal was just to have it as my focus palette. If I didn't have something else to use, I'm leaning back on this palette. Then I decided to put in a baby focus palette or Pan That palette, and that is this Lancome palette in the colorway Peach Soleil. So I will put a picture of what it's looking like now. Again, there's not any difference between this month and last month. And I have used each shade an additional 2 times this month, bringing the total for each shade up to only 3 times. But again, it's 3 times more than I would have ever used this palette before. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy that it's getting like a little bit of use every month. And yeah, I feel like I'm focusing a little bit better this month on my eyeshadow usage, and I'm rotating things in and out, and that's been like really fun for me. So let me get into showing you some other things. So other shadows I've been using are my singles here that I have in different projects. I have these 2 going in projects, and then I have these 3 down at the bottom that I have going in projects. So I'm not going to get into much detail with them, but I did want to show you that I've been working on those as well. So the first palette that I dipped my fingers into that I was really excited to use was my Pat McGrath Midnight Sun. I had this in a project to use it 3 different times, like for 3 different looks, and I did. I really enjoyed this palette. It was really easy to use. The shades were really easy to blend, and the mattes are just, they're just outstanding. They blend really well together. They are very, very pigmented and not patchy at all. So I'm really enjoying using the Pat McGrath shades. I have another palette that I haven't used yet, but I'm really excited to dig into it because the performance of this palette was so wonderful. And that includes the shimmers. I mean, that kind of goes without saying, but I feel like the formula is really, really nice. And I was excited to use it and not disappointed at all in the Pat McGrath formula. The next palette that I dipped my fingers into is the Tarte Big Ego palette. I really enjoyed this palette. I used this palette once, and I used all the shades actually all at once. I will swatch them for you because, I mean, why not? So this palette was super easy for me to use. I felt like I got a really cohesive look. I felt like everything blended together. I have slept on Tarte shadows in the past, and this year, from just seeing some of my friends using some of the Tarte shadows, I really was intrigued. I only had the Tartelette and Bloom palette up until now, but now I have the Man Eater and this one as well, and I really enjoy it. So I'm really glad I got to try it, and it is definitely sticking around in my collection. Then I played around with the Strawberry Shortcake palette from Glamlight. Oh my gosh, was this a joy to use. My only regret is that I didn't get to use it more and that I didn't purchase it sooner. I had every intention on making a look with all 3 rows, but sadly I was only able to make a look out of this top row for this past month. But maybe what I'll do is keep this around in March and try to get a green look out of this center row. These shadows blend beautifully. They pop. If you go over to my Instagram, you'll see, and it's the same as my channel here, you'll see the name of it. You'll see that I did post a look with that top row of shades, but it is gorgeous. And I'm so excited that I was able to use it. Then I pulled in this Colourpop Garden Variety palette. I had a goal in a project to use it 3 times, and I've used it once. But you can tell that this palette is very well loved by me. I really, really enjoy it. I used a bunch of these shadows, but what I liked the best was putting this green in my inner corner for like a little pop. It was very unexpected, and when you looked at me, you kind of were like, oh, what did she do there? How did she, you know, pull off that? So I really enjoyed that, and it kind of made me smile every time I looked in the mirror. And then last but not least, I really wanted to use some of my single shadows more. So I pulled my Looksy singles into a project. And this, so far I've used all these greens right here. But I mean, they are so beautiful. Let me show you a couple of the standouts. The first one is this shade Emerald City. This is absolutely stunning. I actually have it all over my lid, well, in the inner part of my lid today. It is so gorgeous. Look at that. I mean, beautiful. Another one that I really, really was enjoying today was Dragon Slayer. This shifts as well. You can see it in the pan there, and then as you move it, it's so beautiful. So if you haven't tried Looksy Shadows, so see how it just flips as I move my finger. If you haven't tried Looksy Shadows, like, yeah, see that? Oh my gosh. I mean, they're like $3 a piece. They're gorgeous. Gorgeous. And I'm really excited to be playing with them. So I still have a bunch of other ones to use, but I just wanted to showcase for you the ones that I was pulling so far. So those are all the shadows that I was playing with in the month of March. Now, Deb wanted us to talk about a peak and a pit. My pit for the month are these singles that I have in here. They're just boring. I'm just using them because I have to. Yes, they do help complement looks and they bring things together, but they're not anything like exciting, like woohoo. I would love to like use these every day and I can't wait to grab for them. So this is my pit. They're just boring. My peak is this strawberry shortcake palette. It hits everything for me. Like Deb said when she reviewed this, it is nostalgic for me. I had all the little strawberry shortcake dolls. My niece actually has them now and she plays with them. They smelled so good when I was a kid. I had the little strawberry that you open the little strawberry and you could put all your little dolls in there. I had them all. And when I showed this to my mother, she just giggled because she was like, of course you had to buy that. So like, it's just so cute. So this is absolutely hands down my peak for the month. So I'm really excited for March. I have an idea to bring in a bunch of green palettes. I already used my green shades out of my singles and I want to use some more of the greeny blue shades, but I'm going to go back into my drawers and choose a bunch of green palettes to bring in for March and see which ones I can get through. So I'll be back in April. I can't even believe I'm going to be, oh my God, where's this year going? But anyway, I'll be back in April to let you know all of the things that I used in March and how I'm doing. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you liked me, please consider subscribing. I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.